Welcome students. Today we will discuss about the matrix concept in R. The matrix is a two-dimensional data set with columns and rows. That means you will arrange the data in 2D format. Let us see how we can create a matrix in R. So for this to happen, we have to use matrix function. Let us see. Let us create a matrix. Let us create a matrix A. The matrix function, and the first argument is set of elements, typically in the form of a column vector. You give the elements which is to be stored inside a matrix in the form of column vector, or you can create separately. Say for example x, a column vector 2 2 2 2 3 4 5 6 7, and you pass those set of elements as a first argument, and the second argument to the matrix is the number of rows, how many rows we want. Say for example 2 rows we want. So how to fill the elements of column vector, whether in row wise manner or column wise manner. If I want to fill the data in the matrix in row wise manner, we have to use this one. By row is equal to true. So once it is executed, you can see, let us execute this one. All the elements will be stored in row wise fashion. If I want the data in column wise manner, so what you have to do is, it's simple. You have to put the false value here. So once you perform like this, the elements will be filled in column wise manner. You can see the output here. So once we understand how to create a matrix, our next step is how to access the elements, or how to access the matrix elements. So since matrix is a 2D arrangement of data, you can access with the help of numeric notation. That means you have to specify the row number and column number. So I want second row third element, means you have to specify as 2 3. So once you've done it, so you will get the corresponding output. If I want first row second element, say first row second column element, you have to put like this. If I want something like this, second row second column, you have to execute like this. So likewise you have to use the notation square brackets for accessing. Just like column vector list, to access any element in matrix, we have to use square brackets for symbol. Okay, this is the one you have to understand. Sometimes you need to access entire row or entire column. If I want to access entire row, or what you will do means, you have to specify the row number. Say for example 1, first row I want, and all the columns are first row. So you have to put 1 comma space. So if you specify this, you will get, you can see the output here 246. Similarly, I want only second column. So you have to leave a space for the row and then specify the 2 here. So if you execute it, you will get the column elements. For executing the column elements, you have to execute the command like this. For accessing the row elements, you have to do like this. Okay, this is how you have to perform the basic operations. So once you understand how to perform accessing for single element for rows and columns, our next task is to add how to add rows to the existing matrix. So in this example, next task is how to add rows to the existing matrix. So let us see. So since we are already having the existing matrix A, so our next task is, so let us safely once again see what will be the output for A, how it looks like. Okay, 2 rows, 3 columns. So now we will try to add a row. Okay, for adding a row, see, we have to use a function called as rbind. Okay, rbind. So let us see A hyphen new matrix rbind, bind. So rbind means you have to bind a new row to the existing matrix. First argument must be the old matrix which is to be edited, and second argument should be a column, a vector. Okay, column vector consists of the elements. So you use the C function directly here to add the new row. So since we need 3 elements, so I will put 9, 9, 9. So let us see how it goes. Okay, so you can see the output here. This is the old A value. Please see, only 2 rows are there, 3 columns are there. Now you can see here 3 rows are there, 3 columns are there. You can see the triple line is added at the bottom. Similarly, you can also perform, you can add column to the existing matrix. Okay, so since A is already there, so for our purpose we will print again the A. So only 2 rows, 3 columns are there. Now let us add A new. For this, for adding new column, we have to use a function called as cbind. So since we are adding a new column, we have to pass only 2 elements. Okay, so first argument must be the vector or old matrix, and second argument should be the new elements which is to be added. So let us suppose I am adding a new element 8, 8. So you have to add only 2 elements, then only the dimensionality will match. So let us print the new matrix. So let us see. So previously, after executing, the old matrix is 2 rows, 3 columns only. When you performed the cbind operation, so 4th column is added. You can see the 8, 8 is added at the end. So you can see at the bottom, you will understand what is going on. So with this rbind and cbind, we can add new rows and new columns. All these new elements should be given as a second argument in the form of a column vector. You can see this C as a column vector. So this is you have to understand. Next type of accessing is, sometimes you need to delete the rows or columns. How to remove rows? Okay, how to remove rows and columns. In such a case, you take the matrix A underscore new matrix. You take one matrix and you try to remove this. So for removing, you are doing, I want to see this is the new matrix, A new matrix. So for this, I want to remove the second row. So second row means you have to use the minus symbol, minus C of 2. Similarly, I want to remove the third column. Third column, let us see. Third column means minus C3. Okay. So once we have done with this, let us see what is the output here. So you can see the second row is completely removed. At the same time, third column is removed, that is 6, 7 is removed. So you are left with only 2, 4, 8. Okay. So just you have to use the minus symbol here for removing it. Okay. So once you are done with this, to check whether a item is present in matrix or not. This will only arise if the matrix is in the form of strings. Let us say a B matrix. So you are having something like this: AA, AA, BB, CC, ED, and number of rows is 2 and by row is equal to true. Let us see. Let us create a 2 by 2 matrix, 2 by 2 string matrix. Number of rows a small mistake here. N row I have to put. Now you will get the correct output. So you can see it is just a small square matrix. So sometimes if I want to check whether this item CC is present in that or not, what you have to do is you have to use this special symbol. 1 minute. Okay. I want to check the CC whether it is present. Percentile in percentile B. So let us see this statement. If you perform this, you can see this B matrix contains CC element. So if you want to check any pattern or string inside the matrix means you have to use this symbol percentile in percentile. So automatically it will give you true or false. If the element is present, you will get true. If it is not there, false. And let us discuss some functions related to the matrix. Functions related to matrix. So commonly used first function is to find the number of rows and columns in a matrix. For this, we will use dim function. Dim function. Let us suppose I am creating this. Let us see the output for this. First, for our purpose, for our understanding purpose, I am clearing this. So first of all, I am printing A matrix. It consists of 2 rows and 3 columns. if I want to know the dimensionality, so I will use the dim function. So once you use the dim function, automatically you will get the number of rows and number of columns. Okay. So if I want the number of elements, okay, or you can say matrix length. Let us see the matrix length. You can use another commonly used function as length, g gth of a. So that means it will give you the number of elements present in that matrix, the dimensionality, and then the length number of. Some cases you need to find the rows and columns. Okay, so I want to print the number of rows. So for that there is another function n row of, you have to place this one. You have to pass there. So it will give you the number of rows present in the A matrix. If I want to find out the number of columns present in A matrix, means you can put something like this. So n column is the function. So these are the 4 commonly used functions inside related to the matrix. So depending, when you are solving a particular problem, this it will help you. Okay.